Did you know that in the 1920s, the gray wolf was hunted to extinction in the US? This is the story of how the wolf, a key predator in the ecosystem of the US, has been slowly reintroduced in America. Hello and welcome to my video. In this video, I'm going to be taking you guys through the process of painting this painting. It's about wolves and their chaotic lives and kind of inspired by the book American Wolf by Blakeslee, but we'll get into that more later. Basically here I am looking on the internet for references because I can't really take pictures of wolves where I live, and then I'm designing my composition for the piece. And what I wanted to do was create something with a lot of movement and kind of a chaotic composition that showed the tumultuous lives of wolves and kind of the violence that happens between packs over territorial disputes and also over potential mates. And then I finally took my reference photos and threw them into Procreate and kind of cut them up and moved them around and figured out how I wanted everything to lay. And I decided to do one final layer on my background because it was looking too colorful and I wanted a more grittier look to it. Now, as you can see, this canvas has a lot of texture on it, which is something that I was looking for when I wanted to do this piece. I wanted something that would kind of feel dirty and rugged, that would go along with my message of the violence between wolves. And here I'm just blocking in my very first wolf. And my method for this piece was to use layers of washes to create kind of like a smoky, translucent effect, kind of as if they were ghosts, not really fully real wolves. Another reason for this was because I didn't want to keep my reference photos looking exactly like the picture because that would be copyright infringement, and so I basically wanted to keep the wolves from looking as realistic as possible. I kind of wanted them to look more abstract and stylized and kind of dreamlike, as if you're seeing them in your dreams. So here I am doing another layer of fur, and with fur in acrylic you kind of have to go back and forth with layers of white because even though it may seem like the first bit of paint you put on there seems super bright and jarring, it will dry darker and then you'll have to go back over it in another layer. I kind of struggle with the fur, honestly. In acrylic it's a bit of a pain, and halfway through this piece I definitely wish I had gone with a different medium, but in the end it ended up looking alright. But I've been seeing a lot of videos lately on Instagram, TikTok about like artists hating what they do in the middle of their process, and that's definitely true. I for sure went through like an existential crisis in the midst of this. I think with acrylic I find that my tendency is to be more realistic with my brushstrokes and less abstract, and I think with oil I play more with it and I think it feels a lot fresher that way, and that's what I was feeling in the middle of this piece, just like kind of confined by my medium. And I think I definitely made the mistake of not trusting the process and like slogging through, because every painting has an ugly phase and that's just the truth of the matter. And you just have to kind of like buckle down, strap in, and ride it until the end. But I want to talk a little bit more about my inspiration for this piece now. This summer I've been researching biodiversity loss, which is caused by climate change and human interference on Earth. And specifically, I've been reading about biodiversity loss in the US, and kind of like a case study that this book centered around was the American wolf and how it was hunted to extinction in the 1920s. But in 1995, the American Wolf Project was started in the Yellowstone National Park, and basically rangers brought down, I think, 10 or 12 Canadian wolves and reintroduced them to the wild, and in the hopes that they would begin repopulating the US. And 20 years later, there's about approximately 99 to 100 wolves that live in the park. And this book also talks about the politicization, that's a big word, of wolves, and basically like the hunting practices that have been implemented now that wolves have been taken off the endangered species list, even though there's only around 100 of them within the greater Yellowstone area. There's about 1,000 in Wisconsin, which I think is like the most populous state for wolves, and I think in 2021 over 200 wolves were killed in the first day of hunting season alone. So there's just some scary facts for you about hunting and wildlife management in the US, but I also think what inspired this painting was the drama of their lives, which this book goes into great detail. And there's these wolf watchers in Yellowstone National Park that kind of try to see the wolves every day through these little scopes, and they talk about kind of the rise and fall of different wolf packs and the stories of, you know, mated pairs. So in order to get some more inspiration, in air quotes, I decided to go hike Lassen National Park with my husband and enjoy nature.
We're here, we're alive, hiking. Bobby.
I just got a nose pick in the video. Another reason wolves are so interesting to me is because Lassen National Park and Plumas National Forest, the wilderness area above Lassen, has in the past few years seen a new wolf pack come into California, and it's the first wolf pack in California since the 1920s when all the wolves were hunted to extinction.
The mighty Sasquatch stands within, waiting to... Swimming time!
I think the most fun part about this painting was painting the wolves over the abstract and getting to see the bits of abstract kind of peek through the wolves. Going back to what I was saying though, I think I was stunned by the fact that wolves will kill each other over territorial disputes and things like that, just because they have so much they have to face besides hunters and like death from natural causes. They also have to worry about if their neighbor's gonna come into their territory and try to kill them. I think I wanted this piece to be a statement about how wolves don't live long lives, but they live violent and sometimes, but also beautiful lives. They're just a vital part of the ecosystem, and without them, everything would be thrown out of balance. I think I was really enjoying at this point using this square brush to create kind of stylized brush strokes of fur, just to create kind of contrast and have them pop off the canvas a bit more. So yeah, now you guys know a little bit more about wolves and about the process of this piece. I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed listening to me ramble on about the life of wolves and my ideas and opinions about them.